Today we will begin with the unit Plant Morphology. In this unit, we will study about the structure and features of a typical plant. As we all know, a typical plant is basically made up of three components, that is root, stem and leaves. This is the structure of a typical flowering plant. As we can see, a flower plant is basically divided into two types of system, that is shoot system and root system. Now, root system comprises basically of roots, that is primary and secondary type, and shoot system comprises of flower, fruit, stem and now let us study the both of the systems in detail. First of all, let us begin with the root system. Now, root system basically arises from radicle. It is located in the underground part of plant axis. Moreover, it is positively geotrophic and hydrotrophic. And negatively phototrophic. Positively geotrophic means that it is towards the gravitational force, and negatively phototrophic means it is against the sun and therefore it lacks photosynthesis and thereby chlorophyll. As seen earlier, primary structure developing from radicle is known as primary root, and further secondary structure developing out of it is known as secondary root. This is an image that depicts about the types of root. If the primary root that develops out of radicle is stronger and is longer, then the branches arising from it are known as taproot, and such a system is known as taproot system. In dicotyledon, generally plant root, that is taproot system, a root developing from any other part other than radicle is called an adventitious root or fibrous root. Such a root system is known as fibrous root system. Such roots may develop from stem or other leaf parts. In monocotyledons, the primary root is generally short-lived. Therefore, on thin fibrous roots developed from hypocotyle and basal region of stem is known as fibrous root system. Till now, we have studied about the types of root system. Now let's study the regions or the structure of root system. A typical root is basically divided into three lobes, that is apical meristem region, then region of cell elongation, and region of cell maturation. Apart from this, there is a root cap that encloses or covers the apical meristem region of the root, which is hard and tough in nature. Now let us study all the three sections in detail. This is a structure of a typical root that includes apical meristematic region, elongation region, maturation region covered by root hair, and root cap covering the meristematic cavity. Root cap. It surrounds the meristematic region of the root apex. In aquatic plants like Pistia, it occurs as a loose covering called as root bud. Region of meristematic undergoes constant cell division and add new cells which are small and thin-walled filled with protoplasm. Then in region of elongation, constant cell differentiation occurs resulting into the formation of tissues. Further, in region of maturation, the elongated cells undergo maturation, that is, differentiation gets stopped in. In brief, root cap acts as protective layer surrounding meristematic region. In aquatic plants like Pistia, it occurs as root pocket. Then comes meristematic region, which is considered as region of cell division, where rapid multiplication of root cells occur to form various branched roots. Then comes region of cell elongation, which is also known as region of cell differentiation. Since here the divided cells get differentiated to form tissues, developing to form thin fiber-like roots, resulting into the development of root hairs. By undergoing the maturation, then comes region of maturation, where the differentiated tissues form permanent root hairs, resulting into the development of permanent root hair region. Now let us study about the normal functions of root. Till now we have studied about types, structure, form, and now let's study about the functions. First is fixation, absorption. The root region present within the soil helps to fix the plant properly in soil and develop a proper hole in soil. Apart from this, roots also help in absorption of water and various minerals from soil to conduct them to the base of stem axis. Till now we have studied only about the normal function, but apart from this there are few other various special functions which cannot be performed by all type of root systems. These functions includes storage of food, second, mechanical support, third, climbing, fourth, photosynthesis, fifth, parasitism, sixth, breathing, seventh, symbiosis, eighth, absorption of moisture, and last, vegetative propagation. Now, let us study all of them in detail. Sometimes the extra food prepared by leaves is stored in. The stored food helps the plant in tiding over the dormancy period. Such roots can be underground, fleshy, and of various shapes and sizes. Now let us understand about the modification of types of root system in order to understand the function. First is modification of taproots. Various plants exhibiting taproots like carrot, radish, and beet exhibit such a function of storage of food. As it can be seen from the figure, in carrot, the food storing unit root becomes conical and so it is called conical taproot. Similarly, in radish, it becomes fusiform in shape and so the root is called fusiform taproot. Similarly, in wheat, the basal part of the root turns into thread-like structure and so it is called napiform taproot. Now let us study about modification of another type of root system, that is adventitious or fibrous roots. Here, the fibrous root that stores food becomes fleshy and tuber-like structure is formed, and so such a root is known as tuberous root. Example: as shown in figure, sweet potato, a creeper plant, is isolated from adventitious fibrous roots developing from stem and becomes tuberous in shape. These roots have irregular shapes and therefore are known as simple tuberous roots. As studied earlier, one of the normal functions of root is to fix the plant in the soil having a tight grip. Similarly, one more other important function is that it provides mechanical support to the plant with the help of specialized root system that stilt roots and prop roots. Stem and prong roots are generally the roots which grow from stem or branches into ground to support the plant. For stilt roots, example, in which adventitious roots arise from the node of the stem nearer to the ground and then they grow obliquely downwards, enter the soil and provide mechanical support. In maize, additional support arises because the underground root systems are superficial, due to which these roots are called stilt roots. Arises from nodes, grows downwards. As we all know, the root system of a banyan tree possesses a strong hold in the soil. Its aerial branches gradually develop horizontally and they become thick and heavy. Due to such heavy branches, they may bend down due to their heavy weight. To prevent this, prop roots develop. Such roots are rope-like, thready in structure, which develop in groups and later become thick and pillar-like. Now let us study another function, that is climbing. Plants growing as climbers possesses weak stem due to which the supporting structure tendencies to become weak. Thus, they possess modified structure in forms of root to provide support and helps in climbing. Example, pothos. It is a climbing plant where round, adventitious roots develops from the stem, secretes a sticky material which helps them to stick to the support. Such roots are known as climbing or clinging roots. Now let us study another function, that is photosynthesis. As we all know that photosynthesis is a process to prepare food by green plants which is carried out by leaves. So how can this be carried out with roots? This, as said, this is one of the specialized functions of root system of few plants to carry out photosynthesis. Few plants like Ctenospora have leaves on their stem, very few and thin, due to which the photosynthesis process carried out by their leaves is not an up to the level. So, in order to fulfill the food requirement of the plant, specialized adventitious roots are developed to fulfill the food requirement of the plant. Here, thin, smooth and green adventitious roots are developed from the suspended stem. These roots are known as assimilatory roots, which are specialized to carry out the process of photosynthesis and fulfill the food requirement of the plant. Now let us study another specialized function of roots, that is breathing. Breathing is mainly performed by special group of plant roots which is called mangroves. Mangroves are the specialized plant which inhibit the saline waterlogged soil of creeks near coastal regions. Example, Rhizopora and Avicennia. Only such a group of plants have roots that are negatively geotrophic and positively phototrophic. That is, these are the aerial roots which are entirely different from their underground roots. Now these roots can be spongy, long, branched or unbranched, and possess large number of lenticels. Lenticels are the structure present in the aerial roots of the plant stem which supplies sufficient oxygen to the underground root system of the plant. Such root systems possessing lenticels are called pneumatophores. Another function is absorption of moisture. Example, in orchids that lives as epiphytes on the branches of the tree, obtain a habitat only from the host. and so they do not obtain water, salts, or prepared food from the host. They do not even have contact with soil. They only produce some adventitious roots that remain suspended in air. These roots are generally spongy, thick, long, and greenish. A specialized velamen tissue occurs on their outer surface. The cells of this tissue are polygonal, thick-walled, and arranged in many layers, and absorb moisture from the atmosphere. They are called epiphytic roots. Another specialized function of root system is parasitism, means some plants are dependent on other plants for their nutrition. Such plants are known as parasitic plants. Example, Cuscuta. Cuscuta is a non-green and leafless plant. Its stem is yellow and twining. It is a parasite. It develops specialized structure known as haustoria or suckers at the point of contact with the host cell. Through this haustoria, it develops a direct contact between its own conducting tissues and the conducting tissues of the host cell, which helps in sucking water, minerals, nutrition, and prepared food from the host cell. Such suckers act as parasitic roots. Another example is Lorenthus. It is a parasite that grows on the branches of mango tree. Its haustoria sucks water and minerals, only water and minerals from the host plant. Since it has its own leaves and can prepare food by photosynthesis, it does not uses food from the host cell. Thus, Lorenthus acts as partial parasite. Thus, Cuscuta act as a total parasite since it sucks water, minerals, and prepared food from the host. On the contrary, Loranthus acts as partial parasite because it sucks only water and minerals and not food since it prepares on its own. Another function is symbiosis. Symbiosis is a mutual relationship developed between two organisms or any groups that provides advantage to both of them. Such a relation is known as symbiosis. Example, leguminous plants like beans, groundnut, peas possess small or large nodules on their root system. Such nodules are known as root nodules. Nitrogen fixing bacteria, rhizobium, lives in such root nodules. These bacteria converts atmospheric nitrogen into absorbable nitrogen salts through nitrogen fixation process and make these salts available to the plant via these roots. In return, bacteria obtain a habitat and nutrition. Such a mutually beneficial relationship developed between the plant root and bacteria is called symbiosis, and the roots are called symbiotic roots. Last and the most important function of special functions of root is vegetative propagation. Specialized buds occur on tuberous roots of plants like sweet potato, which take place or part in the process of reproduction. Vegetative propagation or reproduction of a plant can also take place by stem and leaf, which we will study later.